Hello, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning back into another live stream. Gonna be arming it in both directions here right at the open. Just gonna be trying to take advantage of that early volatility. You can see here we're starting out with some pretty strong chop. We didn't get any fills right at the open there. Just got our first long fill. Unfortunately, that resulted us in getting stopped out there. We may need to be increasing our stop loss a little bit more in hand with that. Unfortunately, that's two stop outs right there. Just gonna be waiting for some volatility changes right here. Hold on, guys. I think that my network configuration is not correct here. And I think I have a version of Polarity loading that has the machine learning update. And I don't really want to be using that before you guys are. So just give me a second, guys. Guys, I am so sorry about that. Just had to had to double check that I did not have the wrong mode selection there, so we were all good. But just want to make sure everything was in tip-top shape. I'm just going to be arming long again right off the bat here. Unfortunately, that does lead us to get stopped out one more time. But this time, I actually do think it's our fault. So. Just going to be putting it into regression mode now. We're in a zone that's pretty heavily choppy. Really stinks that I missed that whole opening session there, but fortunately that was my bad, guys. Not super used to trading opens, so I mean, just had a little bit less time to prepare today. Just got filled long here, guys. Hopefully this one pans out for us. There we go. It's our first win of the day there, so that puts us at negative 543. We may get a trend mode switch here, but delta and price are still not very heavily correlated. Just got filled short here. It's another win, putting us to 34.5. Still watching delta, still making sure that we're in the correct mode. We have positive delta on a negative bar here, so just got filled again, 464.6 now. Starting to make some progress here. You can see I've scaled down a little bit on my effective contract size. Been getting a couple of comments saying that the only reason why I'm successful is because I'm over leveraged, and I've always thought that was a little interesting. But you know, maybe you're right. Maybe you do need to scale down a little bit. So our per trade size is not as high as it used to be. It's going to be switching into trend here. I'm a little bit late with that switch. Got filled long here. First very, very strong breakout. Hopefully we get this momentum. Yeah, unfortunately it doesn't look like that's going to happen for us, but we do have a pretty skewed stop loss there. Do have some resistive area right here. Which is giving us some trouble here. Hopefully we get some momentum. There we go. We get a consecutive fill right into another long trade. Wow, we're getting a very strong upward movement here, guys. I don't know if I just totally missed out on an entire section there, or some kind of news. Brenner says, good morning. Do you spell your name with one or two N's? I spelled it two N's and an O. Thank you, Brenner. Cardwell says, hey man, do you like the open better lately? What time of day do you most prefer? A lot of forex and market indices and find the open too volatile. You know, I would go with an hour after open. It gives you a very strong balance of movement and volatility. Like right at the open right there, that was a little bit difficult to manage. I didn't really know if I was doing what I should have been right, but I'm going to be switching into regression here. totally missed that again. We saw a delta divergence at 639, so we're just going to be more vigilant for that. Oh man, that would have been nice if we got filled there. Just got another fill, so that puts us up to 1800 on the day. Sorry guys, I will get to these questions. Just want to make sure I'm dialed in because I got a little distracted there. There's another stop. Just got filled long. Stopped out again. Fortunately, these losses are pretty minimally sized, so that's fortunate for us. You know, I'm tempted to switch to trend, but we just still have that those two delta divergences there. It's just not really panning out for us. If we get stopped out here, we're absolutely going to switch into trend. But you can see we bounced right off of that absorption line, the automatically derived zone that was marked by AC4 plus. So that's fortunate. Also, guys, do have some exciting news. So the Polarity update that's going to include machine learning is going to be releasing this week. So stay tuned for an exact day on that, but should be good to go. Just got filled long here, and we get filled off that trade pretty quickly. You can see that I'm pretty proud of myself for calling that regression or not switching to trend there. I mean, we had those two divergences at 640 and 640 consecutively. That was a pretty strong reason for us to stay in regression, even though price action looked differently there. So delta analysis is still very important. And then we bounced right off that derived zone when we were in that trade. I mean, that was just perfect. Just got filled again up to 28.51 on the day. Hey Rocket, I see your question saying what happens if my PC gets wiped alongside my NinjaTrader and I re-download and reset up? How's the machine ID dealt thing, as it will probably be a different one after? Absolutely. So we allow for free machine ID changes. All you have to do is just email support with our new machine ID, and you won't lose access immediately because it will automatically generate you a quote-unquote free trial for a few days before we're able to manually add your machine ID. So just make sure that if you get that message saying that you need to submit it, you submit it pretty promptly so you don't lose access and we have time to add you to the machine ID system. Also, guys, just want to let you guys know the content of this live stream is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as investment advice. This live stream is not intended as an opportunity to copy the trading directions of the preserver. Always consult with a licensed financial professional before making any investment decisions. Just got filled short here. And immediately we get a very, very quick fill on that. I mean, you can see here regression mode is just killing it in this range here. You know, I did get a little bit spooked by that market open movement, and I was just like, what's going on here? And I saw in my output window that there was machine ID optimization going on, or it's not machine ID, sorry, machine learning optimization going on, and it was like, hold on, what's going on? But then I checked and I saw that was from last night when I was doing some tinkering around, so we were all good. Good morning, Connor. Can you recognize how to demonstrate entropy in real time? Absolutely. So I'll show you guys this right here. So this at 640 is a perfect example of entropy. So you can see that delta is not correlated with price on any of these bars pretty much, or it just has a very low correlation with price movement. And that includes in both in magnitude and in actual amount of direction. So you can see here, it's just a very, very brief overview. You can see negative 98. Just got filled here long. Let's see what goes on here. Sweet, looks like we got a very strong fill in that one there. So you can see it's a very rough calculation of just looking at delta and price movement. You can see that we're in the correct mode here because we're getting down, up, down, and then whatever this is going to be. But delta has maintained very strong negative delta. So obviously that does not account for those bullish bars that we're getting there. So it's, see, that's obviously a very high entropy zone. I think this is a perfect characterization of market open, especially when we have high enough volume for this to really, really matter here. Just got filled long here. Very quickly filled. If we get a breakdown here, down through this level here, we're going to be switching it. Oh, man. I might be a little bit smarter than Polarity, guys. Yeah, okay, yeah, you can see that we got stopped out there. You know, I don't know if I should push my luck. We already were pretty much at our profit target on the day, even though we scaled down. Just gonna read some questions here. Is the new update going to be free for Plus users? Yes, it is. It's going to be free for all Polarity users. So, I mean, of course, we're going to be increasing the price on Polarity, but anyone, that's not going to affect you if you already own Polarity. So sorry guys, just reading some comments here. Are you using the 14 target, 14 stop, and move stop to -8 and 11 ticks? No, I'm not using that right now. At market open, we adjusted. It wasn't enough of an adjustment, I will say, but we're using an 18 stop loss, 24 profit target, and but we're still using the exact same chase settings. So there you go for that one. One final question from me, Great Trading, by the way. Do you ever change your tick replay amount? I'm not sure what you mean by tick replay amount. Tick replay is just a checkbox. So if you just enable it, I mean, you need to have tick replay enabled for the footprint charts to work. So I don't adjust that. Kitch says, can you help me understand when to expect an entry? Many times I see 3-point blocks light up, so I expect an entry, but it doesn't happen. What am I missing? So this can happen due to two reasons. The first one is intended behavior, and that would be adversary detection. So we have more of a, it's more complex than some people think. Just because you see an imbalance or may not see an imbalance, especially on NQ, does not mean that there will be a trade guaranteed with adversary detection enabled, or there won't be a trade guaranteed just because you don't see an imbalance. So The thing we have with tick compression on NQ is that adversary detection can individually select levels within a tick and find imbalances within it and take trades if it deems that there is a very strong likelihood that that imbalance is actually valid. We use a very similar calculation system as the Analytica Chart 4 Plus pullback bar. So in areas where you look back and you see that there's not a imbalance and you take a trade, it's going to be like, why is it doing that? Well, that is specifically because of the adversary detection system that we have, and it's based on a new virtual bar, where that bar is using newer data than was inside the bar. Hey Connor, I'm thinking about buying the software, but I'm a little bit scared. Some people on social media say that you have people who get losses with this software. Hope you're able to answer my question. Thank you so much, Seth, for that question. So I will say that this software is absolutely not a guaranteed way to make money. That's absolutely not at all what it is. It takes work and education on your guys' part, and I feel like that I've done a pretty good job to emphasize that. But I just wanted to make sure it's absolutely clear first off. And I will say, if you're struggling with the software, and I would highly recommend reaching out to our support. We'd be happy to help resolve that. The biggest thing I see people doing is that they'll be trying to trade an identical way as me, and I highly suggest not going to the stream and just copying my trading decisions. I suggest actually listening to what I have to say and coming up with your own trading decision based off of that. I've seen people say that, hey, I went trend there when you were a regression and I won that move, even though you lost those 3 in a row there. And they were actually correct about that. We went back and we looked at it, and Delta was correlated, so they should have been in trend, and I didn't catch that. So, really, guys, the only way I'm able to do these streams is if I absolve myself from being responsible for your trade outcomes. I can't take that. We got hundreds of viewers. I don't want to be responsible for every single one of you guys' exact trading decisions. It's a system that it's meant to educate you guys, and it's a system that you're made to follow the rules, but not to copy just what I'm doing, because that's just, you're not actually learning it. So, absolutely, I recommend that they reach out to me on that. But if you're interested in a system that's just going to print you money right after you buy, this is not it. This is not it at all. That's not what we advertise it to be, and it's never been that. So, it takes work on your guys' end, and I hope you guys can understand that. Will the ML release include auto toggle between regression and trend? Not at the beginning, but we will implement that. We just want to make sure that it's either better than me or as good at me at selection. And it's somewhat difficult to emulate that, especially in isolated instances. Overall, we've optimized it to be pretty good. It's just not enough. So definitely going to have to get you back on that. I'm just totally answering questions here, guys. Sorry about that. But I hope that all my decisions today were pretty transparent. You guys could tell what I was doing. Free to talk about using only 31 instead of 32 on the value of replay. So that would not be my replay range. That would just be my range. So we're using a 31 range chart as compared to a 32 range chart. So the thing is that a 32 range is actually a 33 range in terms of NinjaTrader calculation, and a 31 range is a 32 range. So before, when we were using 32, we were just getting a little baby tick on top of each bar, and that could cause a little bit of confusion with the software. So we've fixed that by just lowering it to 31, and it looks a lot cleaner as well. Hello, with ML, do I need to trade, or can I just let Polarity run through the day for ML to learn settings? So the machine learning model is going to come pre-trained, but you can enhance it just by trading like you normally would. It's going to learn continuously to optimize settings for your specific needs. And of course, you can set up multiple different profiles. So if you have a different trading strategy or a different instrument, it's going to be able to switch in between those two. Well, Connor, last stream I asked a question about discrepancy of fills between a live and simulated environment when you're trading an evaluation. You mentioned something about rhythmic. Could you please elaborate a little more on that, please? I do not understand that. So I will say that I just personally, I don't recommend rhythmic for live trading. But if you're using a prop firm, go for it, because it doesn't actually matter, because a prop firm, you're in a simulated environment, and your data is just gonna be trading right off of a simulated exchange. You're not actually doing any actual exchange of contracts between a buyer and a seller if you're in an evaluation account. Even if you're on a funded account, you're not directly doing that. So yeah, I don't use rhythmic personally. Hello Connor, if I want to start over by reinstalling everything at the latest when you released ML version, is there a document or video that I follow? Do you recommend uninstalling first? Thank you. So when we release the update, anytime we do an update, we always give an installation guide on how to do it. So you just re-import the version into NinjaTrader and it'll just overwrite it. It's a very simple installation process, and there will be some new features, so we'll definitely do a dedicated video on it. So you guys will be able to see that for yourselves. You'll be able to actually go through the process with me on that. So don't worry about that. We'll be doing a video on that, so we won't leave you guys in the dark. So the model is pre-trained. Does it come with preset profiles? Is there a feature where we share profiles? Absolutely, you can share profiles, and it does come with preset profiles. And we'll always be making sure the model is up to date. What do you use instead of rhythmic? Question, CME exchange. No, I do not use the CME exchange data. I think that'd be a little difficult to come across, but I use an aggregation between IQ feed, kinetic, and CQG. Also, if Zach is telling you that's a good idea for you, I highly suggest going for it, because Zach is a professional and you should trust him. So he actually would know more on that end than I would. In the machine learning, will it also optimize adversary detection as well? Yes, it will. Do you actually trade live, or are these all simulated paper trades? These are live trades. You can tell, you can see the account on the right panel. You can see it shows my name. You can't, it would show sim if otherwise. So can we consider this more like an indicator? So an indicator by definition is not going to enter and manage your trades. So and NinjaTrader calls it a strategy. The footprint chart is absolutely an indicator. It's a different way to read market data. But no, I wouldn't say Polarity is an indicator. I'd say it's a semi-automated system. I can't use the email I purchased the software on. You only allow Google accounts to send questions. Oh shoot, that is my bad. I will actually definitely update that. We just had the email verification on so that we weren't just getting anonymous spam. So I'll definitely figure out a way to make sure that's working. Wow, look at that volatility, guys. Totally missed out on that, but like, I think it's fine personally. By the way, Zach does an excellent job in responding to questions submitted to help me understand tweaks to settings, etc. Thank you, Emily. I do appreciate that. I'll be letting Zach know that he's doing a great job. I think that he will highly appreciate that. Oh, it's news. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I gotta start keeping an economic calendar on. I don't personally trade based off of news events, but it's good to know. I think it's a little bit unprofessional of me to not know when news is happening. Hey Connor, overall you're seeing more favorable volatility, and that's why you trade more NQ than ES nowadays. Thank you. Yeah, I do. I definitely see more favorable volatility with NQ. That's why I haven't been trading ES at all. It just is much more consistent, and later in the day, especially, ES is just a snail. All right, you guys. I think I'm gonna be signing off for today, but stay posted for news on when the next live stream will be, as well as the ML model release. So definitely stay tuned for that. But thank you guys so much, guys, for streaming today or for joining the stream today.